All right, you guys, we are back. It's your boy EQ, and up next we have Kendrick Lamar under fire for submitting Drake diss, not like us, to Grammys, but he's anti-industry. Shout out to Chick Smooth for the video, and yeah, man, I don't think he's anti-industry. I'm just thinking he's against what the industry is becoming and has become over the last few years. I think that's really the case versus him just being anti like establishment of like the actual industry. I mean, he submits to Grammys, and a lot of the big Drake stands run with that narrative anyway. So I don't know why they'd be surprised that they'd put this up for consideration, and more than likely it's going to win. Like the impact that that record has had, and obviously still has because we're still talking about it to this level. I mean, the song is still top 10 last time I checked. I don't see why people should be in such an uproar. It's crazy, dude. It's almost like people are trying to cope with the fact that Kendrick is having the year he's having, and they also make it seem like it's only because of Drake. Guys, the guy just came off one of the biggest rap tours, no, the biggest rap tour ever, with that Big Stepper tour. There's a lot of erroneous claims out there, basically making it seem that like, yo, the dude is like some indie act that never really got any burn until this beef. That's not the case. There's a whole reason why even like Drake is saying that every time Kendrick speaks, he gets a Grammy. And I feel like a lot of the Drake hate towards the Grammys, I think it's just the fact that he's felt snubbed a few times. There's been actually a few years where Kendrick won over him. And honestly, it shouldn't be the only metric to like determine if something is successful or good. Because there is years the Grammys do get it wrong. But yeah, man, if he was winning every year, I don't know if he would have that same type of smoke. But yeah, man. But enough dilly-dallying. Let's jump right into the video. Again, it's entitled Kendrick Lamar under fire for submitting Drake diss, not like us, to Grammys, but he's anti-industry.
Seemed to be the end of the rap war of 2024. Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us has been submitted for Grammy considerations. That news made people
Put the Grammy Academy sticker over his eyes like that.
people reconsider whether Kendrick Lamar is actually as anti-industry as he has been claiming. People will ask, how do you simultaneously want the party to die and also are submitting your own songs to the party?
I think those two things are totally separate and distinct things. The party dying is like, I think the people involved, the people that have really been dominating for a very long time. You could want the regime to change and still want, you know what I mean, the Grammys to be what he believes they should be. Because obviously he's submitting to them for a reason. I don't think those two things go hand in hand. But I definitely feel like Kendrick is more against like the culture that has been dominating as of late, for a very long time actually.
That is the Grammys. DJ Academics would even call into No Jumper to share how he feels about how Kendrick is being perceived by the public. And we'll get into the actual Grammy submission process to figure out if he has something to do with it. What's up, y'all? It's your man Talkless World reporting for the Chick Smooth.
Of course, your label has to submit the song. And I'm pretty sure him being a co-founder, he has a lot of say in that. I'm pretty sure he has the most say. And Dave Free obviously probably saw this as a slam dunk move. Like, this would be the perfect way to cap off the run. And like, all right, let's put this to bed.
Channel, we got to talk about this. So recently, Hip Hop All Day posted on Twitter, Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us has been submitted for 5 awards at the 2025 Grammys. Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Rap Performance, Best Rap Song, and Best Music Video. Do you agree with those categories?
High-key, yeah, and a very favorite to win. Record of the Year, Song of the Year, with this, the impact that that song has had, I feel like the only one would be the Shabuzi record that could take Song of the Year or Record of the Year away from him. But as far as rap performance, rap song, and music video, it's got to be Not Like Us, and that's with me being objective about everything.
Let me know in the comment section. But someone will respond saying, I thought this BAN was anti-industry. The jokes write themselves. Somebody else will comment, you think he nominated himself? So more people will comment, I don't know where people are getting the idea that artists...
It's the label. The label has to submit for you.
...submit themselves. And someone will call them a harsh word while screenshotting the process of getting your song submitted to the Grammys. It says, quote, to earn a Grammy, artists and industry professionals submit their work for consideration by the Recording Academy. The Academy members then vote on the nominees, and winners are announced during the annual Grammy Award ceremony. But longtime songwriter Tiffany Rain...
And also remember, like, the Academy isn't really a monolith. A lot of these people only vote on like name recognition. It's almost like when people go into like any type of election, you go in there, you may know like the main 2 races that are running, like the presidential race, but as soon as you start getting into the more regional, local politics, you might only vote for the people that you've you've heard of, and you may not be as informed as, you know, the vote for the president. But that's why I feel like a lot of times that's why somebody like a Macklemore will win, because that song just got so much burn that all these people like they voted on him just based on name recognition.
Would give her thoughts on the situation, saying, if you're signed to a label, they submit your work for consideration to the Grammys. The artist has to sign off on the consideration, but it's the RIAA and the Grammy board that determines whether you get nominated, win, or...
Well, they have to approve it because everyone and their mama would just submit. Of course, the Academy would have to have final approval over what nominations they actually approve because they get flooded with tons of them.
Or not. If you think artists control those people, you're stupid. So the main question really is...
I will say this, if Drake wanted to submit, the label would listen to him. If you have somebody of that type of clout and power, would definitely be able to like make the label submit something like that. I feel like he does have some type of like built up resentment for like these perceived snubs on his records that he submitted.
Does the artists themselves submit for Grammy considerations? According to Grammys themselves, recording Academy members and media companies submit their nominations, which according to the Grammys is typically around 20,000 entries.
So they gotta whittle it down.
And then the first round of voting determines the Grammy nominees. So it could be Kendrick himself, his label, or...
He's a co-founder. He obviously has a lot to say. But is this surprising, guys? Like, the dude submits for Grammys every project he does. And this being his biggest song ever, does it really surprise anyone that he's putting it in for consideration? You can't go and say, like, the dude is out here trying to get these Grammys and do all this stuff, and when he submits for him, you give him backlash for that. That is, low-key, that is crazy. And it does sound like coping. This was bound to happen, guys. I don't see any reason as to why we should be surprised either.
Or media companies that just believe that song deserves...
It's the heavy Drake stands, really, I want to say, that are like trying to push that narrative.
...a Grammy this year. And for those of you wondering, isn't Kendrick Lamar independent? Not really. He signed to PG Lang, which still has a deal with Aftermath and Interscope. Here's Kendrick Lamar's page.
You got to remember, at the end of the day, you still have to, if you want to be at a certain level, you still need some type of the machine behind you, because they're the one with all the relationships with like Spotify and the big playlists. Because if you guys don't know, 60 to 70% of people's streams comes from being highly ranked in these highly competitive playlists. You get on Rap Caviar, you're going to go gold. You're probably going to go platinum pretty easily just by being on there.
Page on Interscope's website. So he's clearly still signed there. But this is just the latest line of attack from people who can't get over the rap war of 2024. Especially DJ Academics, who called into No Jumper, attempting to create and spin a new narrative. Take a listen.
Listen, very unpopular opinion. Kendrick's whole thing with Drake was fueled by jealousy. Kendrick clearly wanted to be the man, which, by the way, right now, he is the man. This is what he always wanted. He wanted to be the guy who has the most, I'm not going to call it clout, but like the #1 rapper. And I do think if he drops an album now, he would outsell Drake if Drake dropped a album now.
I'm thinking 600K first week easily. And that's right now. I can only imagine if he pulls off some immaculate performance at the Super Bowl, which I don't doubt, that the streams would be exponential from there.
Okay, now you're #1. How do you play?
And I wouldn't say Kendrick's been on this wave since like 2010, 2012. The dude never really liked Drake. You could kind of always see it. And it's now just like culminated into like what we're seeing today. But it's not just Drake. He wants to come at everybody. Kendrick is obviously very, very competitive. And it's something that has definitely been a staple in hip hop for as long as its inception. Like, who's the baddest rapper out here? Who's the best, you know? That's always something that has always been like something to like take into high regard. Like, all right, you want to be considered the best. Like, if you look at a Kobe or if you look at like a Jordan, like these guys were ultra competitive. And for me, that's like a big reason why they were able to be that much better than their competitors. I don't think people realize that like in sports, like the actual physical skill sets aren't really separated that much. A lot of it is like the intangibles, like the mental. Like, all right, can you lock in? Can you, if you make some type of error, can you bounce back, or do you just stay in your head? Like, that's like a big portion. Mental fortitude is really, really big when it comes to stuff like this. And I feel like rap is the same. It's definitely something that competition just brings better music overall. Gets everybody on their toes.
And this was gonna tell. It's gonna tell the true character of Kendrick. And as I said, man, listen, there is no Jesus on earth currently. So over time, the people will see something. They will see something that reveals his true color. Might just
He's like waiting for his downfall. Like, it's very sad, man. Very, very sad.
take a while.
When you try to virtue signal, you're basically inviting everybody to come poke holes in this persona that you've invented for yourself. So I feel like with Kendrick's next project, it's just going to be like held to such a crazy bar because so many people are paying attention to it. And
you know what's crazy? There's people that can argue that all his albums have been classics. So it's like, do I expect anything less than that? I feel like the bar has already been set really, really high with the projects he's already dropped. I feel like the emotional high he's been riding, I feel like this is going to be a great project overall. But yeah, the expectations are definitely set super high. If not for the very fact that, like, dude, you're coming off the biggest beef in history. You're probably on, like, honestly, one of the most historical runs by a rapper in a very long time. If you're denying that, it's like, dude, it's like beyond delusional. You could be a fan of Drake. You could be a fan of anybody. There's tons of people's music I love, you know, but like, you got to call it how you see it. And right now, like, I don't see nothing wrong with him submitting for a Grammy because he does this every time he comes out. I don't think it's like one of those, like, it's the shock that people have calling him anti-industry. How can he be anti-industry if you say he's always going around and trying to get the Grammy? Like, that's pretty much as industry as it gets. You know, I just think that he's really against the regime that's like really dominating right now, and a lot of the fake. But the time will tell. Time will definitely tell. Yeah, of course, people, you can already see it now that people are trying to poke holes into anything he does. Even this, like, for academics to be like, yo, we're waiting to see, like, when Kendrick makes that error, so basically so we can, like, crucify him or, like, demonize him, is nuts, man. Like, guys, let's just enjoy the music. Like this is, like, a lot of this does seem as, like, dude, like, low-key hate. And, like, it's very fitting that it is Adam 22 and Ack having this conversation.
Expecting certain things from him, and it's going to be blatantly obvious if he doesn't deliver. The same way that last song having, like, basically no impact, the lack of impact stood out so much.
Not everything, see, and that is one of the problems when it comes to, like, having, like, the run he's had. Not everything has to be a single. If you've noticed, Kendrick really hasn't spoken too much, actually at all. You haven't really heard Kendrick on social media. He really has only been communicating through music, which I feel like for him has worked great, you know? I don't think everything has to be a single. Like, for Adam to think that, all right, this song has to be even bigger than the last, no, it's like almost like he was putting out a statement. And a lot of it had to do about the party, not the actual house. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, let's change the people that's moving in here, and then we can go from there. If he can do it, time will tell. But as of right now, I don't think he's anti-industry. If not, he wouldn't have been submitting his records for the past 4 or 5, like, albums he's put out. Come on, guys.
Much because of how gigantic Not Like Us was, and it's almost like everybody forgot how this is a guy who just has not made a lot of songs that sound like Not Like Us.
Academic.
Kendrick is definitely one of those people that definitely experiments with his production. But you can't look at the Damn album with records like Humble. If you go to his other project, records like All Right, the dude has major songs that have gotten major radio play. Swimming Pools, huge record, radio-wise, and, like, the acclaim it got from critics. So this narrative that he doesn't have, like, bangers, it's crazy. I don't think you sell the units he does first week if you don't provide records that can get spun like that. I just think he does it his own way.
Knows that his position in the middle of the rap war has helped him exponentially. He is never going to remove himself from the rap war. Even if it cools down, he's going to take any news to stir it right back up. But let me know what you think about the situation in the comment section.
I don't think so.
Peace.
If it was really the case that he was really anti-industry, he wouldn't have submitted all those previous projects at all. Like they stated, the artist would still have to, like, give their stamp of approval, even though, honestly, I don't even think the labels would need it. At the end of the day, they own in a lot of these situations, all the rights to the person's music. They're just working in good faith and making sure you're on the same page, you know? If Kendrick was that much against the industry, he wouldn't be doing the Super Bowl. He wouldn't be submitting for Grammys. He wouldn't be, like, making deals with Amazon to stream his event. Like, come on, guys. Let's be a little more objective. You can think that the song has been having a run that has been way too long, but you can't say that really and support Drake when it comes to, like, a record like Back to Back, which had, like, a year run at least. So I do feel like this backlash about him submitting is definitely super hypocritical, but if that's what truly helps you cope with some of this stuff, man, I guess do it. But yeah, man, you can't go and say that this is what the guy does, and when the guy does it, you wild out over it and say that he's acting against character. Right now, it's safe to assume this is his character. Like I said earlier, he's gonna win at least 3 out of the 5. Like, and he could easily take Song and Record of the Year. I feel like the only real competition has got to be Shabuzi. That Tommy Richmond record, I feel like it was a moment, but I don't think it had enough legs to be able to like compete with the other two. But we'll see. You never know. Like I said, it is about name recognition. That's how the majority of the Academy is voting, because you have country singers and country purists voting on hip hop. You have hip hop voting on country. I feel like Shabuzi is going to sweep the country awards. I will say that. I feel like this whole thing was inevitable. I think people are just like puffing up and throwing a bunch of smoke just because it is Kendrick and they just don't like Kendrick, which is cool. You don't have to like him. But some of the narratives you're trying to run with, like, dude, they have no legs, man. But definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think. What do you guys think about Kendrick submitting Not Like Us to the Grammys? Do you think really that is out of character when he has submitted basically everything else? I feel like that's very telling. What do you guys think about the conversation Ak and Adam had? I feel like those two, they're as fringe as you can get in hip hop. They are like, they do have big platforms, but they've burned a lot of bridges, so they're not really well liked by a majority of the industry. Definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think. And also let me know if you guys think he's gonna go 5 for 5 or which awards he will take home. But yeah, definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does the channel wonders. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are freaking amazing. The dialogues are always super dope. I've been trying to get back to all the comments. The dialogues are freaking amazing, guys, like always, so definitely keep that up. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys love the video, and I hope to see you guys soon. Yeah, Kendrick might sweep them awards, fam.